Good morning, Year 5. It's Monday the 18th of May 2020. Think big, do big. Good morning. Love that quote. Think big, do big. Video then, overview of learning. What's coming up this week. It's the final week before half term. So just one more week of learning and then you've got a week off, which is lovely. Maths lesson. So a reminder of what we're doing for maths this week and a bit of teaching for you. And then some general reminders as well. I'd just like to congratulate the Year 5 boys for beating the Year 5 girls in Times Table Rockstars. I've given you a rematch this week, so girls, see if you can beat the boys before half term. But a real big well done to Lucas, Finn, Eddie, Archie, Louis, Sam, Patrick, Luke, Ryan, and then Brooke, Olivia, Leanna, Honey May, Evie, Rebecca, Amelia, Grace and Rosie. Rosie beating her sister Grace. So well done to all of you that went on and contributed to that. Let's see if we can get even higher scores this week. Your writing, children, was absolutely amazing. Those of you that sent it in last week, really well done. Clearly see some of you have bought the Descriptosaurus because I recognise some of the words and phrases in there, so really big well done to you. If you can, maybe you want to buy one, then it's Descriptosaurus and you can get it on Amazon. Okay. So writing then, we're still maths. We are still struggling a bit on these converting mixed numbers to decimal notation. Okay, so we want you to write, like Mrs. Aiton's done here, 4 1/3 as 4.333 because 1/3 is the same as 0.333 recurring. That means that 3 keeps going and going and going. So we've done the same again. Now, if you know, I would ignore the whole numbers to start with, get rid of those, and you just need to convert 1/4 to a percentage and then onto a decimal. Well, draw a circle, split it into 4 sections, whatever your denominator is, the bottom number, and you know that that whole circle is 100%. The whole thing is 100%. So we are splitting that into 4 groups. So I'm going to do 100 divided by 4, which is 25%. So each of those are worth 25% because 4 lots of 25 are 100. Okay. So each of those are 25%. Now, you also know that if you've got 25%, that's the same as 0.25. 10% is the same as 0.10. 1% is the same as 0.01. 19% is the same as 0. Yeah, you guessed it, 19. Okay, so you're dividing the percentage by 100 to get the decimal. Okay, so if we want 5 1/4 as a decimal, well, we know that 1/4 is the same as 0.25 as a decimal because it's 25%. So 5 1/4 is the same as 5.25. Okay, well, if I've got 2 quarters then, I've got this and this. I've got 2 lots of my 25. Well, 2 lots of 25 is 50%. 50% as a decimal is 0.50. So 5 2/4 is the same as 5.50 or 5.50. And then if I've got 5 3/4, well, 3/4 is 3 lots of 25%, which is 75%, or 0.75. So that's going to be 5.75. If the whole number in front was an 8, then it would be 8.75. If it was a 15, it would be 15.5. But you need to draw your circle, your denominator. So if that was a 5, I would split it into 5 groups. If it was an 8, the denominator, the bottom number, I'd split it into 8 groups. Okay, then work out the percentage by dividing 100 by how many groups you've got, and then times it by whatever your numerator is, and make sure you convert it to a decimal. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense now. Another thing we're struggling with are fractions of amounts. So your MyMaths task starts with things like this, which is nice and simple. What fraction is shaded? Well, first thing to do is work out how many of each fraction or in total you've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my denominator would be 12. How many I've got? How many are blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6/12, which I know simplifies to a half. So half of that shape is shaded here. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My denominator is 6. How many are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 6, which simplifies to 2/3 because, and you're pretty good at this in your homework, I could divide those by 2. And you do the same for each of those as well. Okay? Now, Steve, not sure who Steve is, but he has 12 sweets. He eats 2/3 of them. How many sweets is this? Well, here are my 12 sweets, and because my denominator is 3, I'm going to split my 12 sweets into 3 groups. So split them into 3 groups. So here is group 1, group 2, group 3. 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 Now I've split it into thirds because I've got 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and it says in the question that he eats 2 of those groups because my numerator, the top number, is 2. So he eats that group and he eats that group. So how many sweets has he eaten then? Well, 1 group is 4. So 1/3 is 4, so 2/3 is 8, and obviously 3/3, which is a whole, would be 12 because that's the number he started with. So how many groups does he eat? How many sweets does he eat? Well, he eats 8 of them. Okay. Now, obviously, it's not always easy to draw out and split them. Okay. So you need to know that if there are 18 apples in a shop, Ria buys 5, 6 of them. How many does she buy? Well, first of all, you know you've got 18. And you are splitting those 18 into 6 groups. So draw yourself a circle again, split it into 6 groups. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an extra 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my 6 groups. Okay, and I know that this whole circle in this question represents the number 18. So I know that each of these are equal groups, so I need to split my 18 into 6 groups because my denominator is 6. So 18 divided by 6 is obviously 3. So each of these is worth 3, okay? Because if I do 3 times by 6, that gets me my 18. Now, she eats 5, 6 of them. So she eats all of those. She does not eat that one because she only eats 5, 6 of them, not 6, 6. How many does she, or how many does she buy? Well, she buys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3. 5 times by 3 then is 15. So she buys 15. So what have we actually done? Well, we've done our amount, which was 18. We've divided it by 6 because that's the denominator of the fraction. And then which is obviously 3. And then we've done 3 times by the numerator, which is 5. So we've got our answer of 15. Okay, so that's what we've done. Now, calculate your answer then. Now, this is linking to your Maths Week 27 sheet. Well, if we know we've got £2 and we need to find 1/4 of £2, I'm splitting my £2 into 4 groups. So I'm going to do £2 divided by 4 groups, which is 50p, because 200 pennies divided by 4 is 50 pennies. So each of those are 50p. And I need to find 1 group of those because my numerator here is 1, or one of them is obviously 50p, so £0.50. Then the next question asks for 2 groups of them. So I need 2 lots of 50p, which is obviously £1. Then it asks for 3 groups of them. So 3 lots of those is obviously £1.50. And then 4 out of 4 groups, well, that's the whole, isn't it? 4 out of 4 of the whole is obviously £2. Okay, now it's systematic. The question in a test paper would not ask you straight away if it wanted 3/4 to find 1/4, then 2/4, then 3/4. It would just say 3/4 of £2. So you would have to do £2 divided by 4, because that's your denominator, and then you would times that answer by 3. So you divide by the bottom, £2 divided by the bottom, times by the top, which is 3. That's the quick way of doing it, okay? So Belinda has 48 bananas, 7/8 of them are ripe. How many ripe bananas does she have? Well, we're going to do 48 divided by 8, because that's our denominator. How many 8s in 48? Which is 6. So 1/8 of 48 is 6. So 7/8 would be 6 times by 7, which is 42. So she has 42 ripe bananas. Okay, so children, this week then, you need to do SPAG, which is irregular verbs, which is on eSchools. There's a Word document which looks like this. So you've got your usual questions here, and then it goes into sort of test questions like this, which is what you'll be used to seeing next year. At the top, children, is a YouTube video. If you copy and paste that, you'll be able to watch it, and it talks you through all irregular verbs, but it does tell you here that irregular verbs that you have to change the spelling of, so the root word will be different. So choose, choosing, okay, chosen, and it's all about to do with their tenses. So it's the simple present tense, present progressive, obviously ing if it's progressive, future tense will happen in the future, past progressive, well ing, but it's past tense, I will be, or I will have, okay, and then simple past tense is I have chosen, okay, a card. Chosen ends in en, past tense obviously en, ed, whatever, okay, so that's your SPAG. And then you've got My Maths, obviously Monday to Wednesday as usual. You've got a fractions of amount sheet, which is on eSchools, okay. Your fractions of amount sheet looks a bit like this. And what you have to do is type on the yellow boxes, okay. So you've got fractions of amounts, remember, divide by the bottom times by the top, and you just have to type your answer in there. Save it for us. There's 2 sheets for majority of you, and then send it back to us, okay. Writing, you've got a PowerPoint to follow or a Word document, which looks like this, okay. So you are going to write a poem relating to what's currently going on in the world. It can be a positive or negative poem. There are some videos to watch, okay, there, and then you've got to choose a viewpoint to write from. So yourself, an elderly or vulnerable person, obviously your views will be different, a nurse or a key worker, charity or helper in the community. You could also do it from the point of view of an animal. That might be quite good. Step 2, are you going to write in first, second or third person? Then you've got the planning sheet, so you need to plan, which is what you're used to be doing, okay. So that's Monday and Tuesday, you're doing that, lots of abstract nouns, emotions through actions, and then Wednesday, Thursday and Friday you actually need to write it. And then this is some year 6 examples, so if you could decorate yours like this, that would be great. Non-negotiables, your steps to success, you need alliteration, abstract nouns, so those feelings, hope, sorrow, love, similes, you need personification, you need emotion through action phrases. Obviously if you've got the descriptosaurus, that will really help you. Rhetorical questions, creative adjectives and verbs, okay. And then you've got the challenge there, so can you add in relate to our school gospel values, repetition for effect, and obviously you need openers, all of the stuff we've been doing for those as well, okay. So go through the PowerPoint or the Word document. Obviously reading, if you're doing Lexia then that's fine, or you've got a reading which Mrs. Perry has planned for you. Again, it's on the Word document, PowerPoint. If you actually play the PowerPoint, Mrs. Perry does talk you through this, okay, so you can go through and she does talk you through that, okay. So play the PowerPoint and that will help you, or just look at the PDF version. And then Maths Week 27 sheet, you're used to seeing that, so that's due in on Monday the 1st of June, which does mean if you get it done this week then you don't have to do any work at all during half term. So have a really good week. Remember, it's the last week before half term. Every day is a new opportunity for success, so give it your best shot this week. Possibly we will be doing Zoom, but we will confirm that because Mrs. Ayton and I are due in school at various points this week. Any questions, like you usually do, send us a message on eSchools or through Twitter. Please post your pictures to us on Twitter. And I think that's it from me today, so have a really good week. Next video on Wednesday, and we look forward to getting lots of excellent work.